Okay, so let me just first expand this and let's go ahead and start code blocks. Just double click on it. Might take a while the first time around. You might get a prompt before this one that it has detected a compiler. Just click on, don't mess around with it, just click on OK. Anyway, now that we have code blocks up and running, it's opened here. What do we do with it? Well, you go ahead, we need a new project, so the one that we will actually use. So go ahead and click on new project, select console application, click on go, next, C++, not C. Remember that. Next, project name shall be keylogger. So I will name it differently here because I've already created a project keylogger and I already wrote some code into it and explained it, and I'm doing the setup videos after that. But name your project keylogger, so like this. And the folder to create the project in, that will be let's put it into documents. I think that should be fine. You see, I already have it here. So just go ahead and go into documents and click on OK. So C users, my username is test, and then documents. Yours will be something different. It will be C users, your username, and then documents. You don't need to put it in documents, but that's just my choice of a location. You can put it wherever code blocks has read and write permissions. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and change the name here, keylogger, I don't know, 1 something like that. But your name will be keylogger. I've already created it, so I don't want to delete the project as I have quite a bit of things there. Click on next. All of this is fine. You don't need to touch anything here of whatsoever. Just go ahead and click on finish. That's it. That's all you need to do. Say keylogger here. You will have your sources here, your main.cpp. Just double click on it and it opens in this tab here. You can even try, actually you can just press F9 to build and to compile, and it actually runs the hello world. Up here you have these green build and run, so you can click on that and this is what happens. Control S is for save, build and run or just build. So you have this, you see the icon here, they're pretty small, just click on it, it's build, and then you have run right next to it, and then you have build and run. And you can also save things with Control S. Anyway, in this fashion, I would suggest building and running the app, the Hello World default app, at least once to establish that everything is working fine and nice. That's my recommendation anyway. Now, there is no reason why you cannot use any of the other coding integrated development environments, but I've chosen this one due to this, for the sake of simplicity, really. Now, if I right-click on sort, if I just, this is how you would create a new file. So you cannot right-click here, and I think you actually can add files, find something like that. But look, just click on the project, or just go ahead and click on File in the upper left corner. Go ahead and select a new, and depending on what we want to create, basically, we would like to have an empty file. Yes, I would like to associate. Do you want to add new files in this? Yes, I would very much like to do that. And if I want to create a header file, because we will primarily be creating header files, there's only going to be one main CPP. There won't be any other CPP files. All the other ones will be pretty much headers or some libraries, etc. Just go ahead and type in the name of that. So, tra-la-la-la-la. But .h, keep in mind, you have to place .h. If you do not place .h, it's a big problem. So, yep, save, multiple selection, yep, that's fine. And there you go. Down below, it opens up a subfolder. It says headers and then tralala header. So you can go ahead and start typing your header here. Now, another trick to this is when you right click on this and you say remove from this project, that's what it does. It removes it from this project, but the file still exists on your file system, and this can be quite dangerous in a sense that when you again create a file with the same name, you might encounter problems. So just go into wherever you have created the file, Documents, Keylogger, and find, you see tralala h header file. Just click on delete here. Delete it here, just to make sure. That's one of the downsides of code blocks due to these simplistic approaches. There can be problems sometimes, but nothing that we cannot actually work with. It's not that big of a deal, so don't worry about it. I will, of course, show you how to go about all of these things without any problems. So we can go ahead and safely close this, and feel free to either keep this or delete it. But from this point on, we will just use this project to type code into it. So again, yours will be called Keylogger, not Keylogger 11. Just to keep that in mind. As is mine is also called Keylogger, but I've created it previously and I've already casted some videos there and made a pause, and then I came back to make this setup video. Why do I do it that way, you might ask me? Well, I like to go through things sometimes. In some cases, this is a particular case where I'm actually writing the code. I like to go to a certain point without actually explaining anything about the setup and then see how it works. Was this a good development environment? As I said, I tried Eclipse. Everything was fine, but I found it a bit complex for everybody else to understand. I mean, even though the course label is advanced, still I try to make it as simplistic as possible so that as many people as possible will be able to understand. Those are just a few things that I wanted to tell you. Now you can use CodeBlocks as your development environment, and we will be playing around with it. Anyway, bid you farewell, and I do believe that in the next tutorial we will jump straight into code.